down with the, as I like to say, the backbones behind this sport. I've got Darren Pittman's better half, Mandy Pittman, and Sheldon Honshield's girlfriend, Zan Smith. Extremely excited to have you guys with us, and I want to tell our fans a little bit about what you guys do. Yes, you're the wives and girlfriends of these guys out here that put the show on every single week. But I really feel that the wives and the girlfriends are extremely underappreciated for everything that you guys really, really do. I mean, you think about it, probably the wife and girlfriend are probably the easiest titles that you guys carry. There's race recapper, social media guru, cheerleaders, the silent support on the bad nights. I really just want to grasp what it takes on a regular basis for you guys week in and week out when you're following the World of Outlaws tour. So we'll start off with the schedule. Obviously, you guys get a schedule at the beginning of the year that tells you everywhere you're going for the year. But is there any planning that goes into that schedule-wise? Do you guys have a way that you kind of just group everything together and say, this is when we're leaving here, going here, doing this and doing that while you're out there, Mandy?
Yeah, we do. We homeschool the kids, so especially Taylor. So I go in February to the Florida races, and then I skip the first California swing, and then I pick back up in April, and then from then on we're on the road, and we kind of know the schedule a little bit now. It's pretty much the same, so we kind of know when we're leaving and when to pack, or when we're home for 2 days to wash clothes at home, or something like that. So we kind of got the schedule down. It's pretty easy that way. But as far as we are home for a couple months at the beginning of the year, me and the girls, and the rest of the time we're on the road.
Love it. And you definitely have the veteran perspective of it. You guys have been doing this for you're not old, but you've been doing this for several years now. Zan, as a rookie, as I'll say, what's it been like for you just learning the schedule and getting accustomed to the lifestyle?
I mean, it's been different. Obviously, I came out of college and we went on the road. So we did the All-Stars when I first finished, and then last year was our first year on the Outlaw Tour. It was a lot different because we were traveling with the team, 5 guys and a dog, plus me in the Motorhome, and we owned the team. So that was kind of crazy. So this year it's kind of, you're learning it all over again, doing it by ourselves in a motorhome. So it's been different, and we're not accustomed to it yet. We haven't figured it out for sure.
And kudos to you for that first year. A girl needs her personal space.
Yes.
So to be with that many guys in such a small space, I'm sure it was a struggle for yourself. And I think that's what people don't understand is when you're living life on the road, you had to talk about the dog and being with the guys, the vet appointments, the kids' doctor's appointments, the hair appointments. We still have to be girls too on the road. What's that been like? I mean, is it just you try to find something in that city that you're around?
Yeah, I mean, we fit it in where we can. If we know we're going home, it's full days of dentist and eye appointment and hair appointment. But if you're not going home, I mean, Mackenzie Wilson, we're lucky to have her on the road. She's a beautician, so she's done my hair in a folding chair outside of the rig before. So, it's just you do what you have to do.
Really, really cool. And what I think is really neat is that you guys are both involved in racing before you met your significant others. And I want to talk about that. Mandy, if you'll tell your story of just where everything started, how you met Darren, and where things are now.
Yes, so my dad raced forever, and so I always was at the track Friday night, Saturday night. That's where I went every Friday and Saturday. So Darren was racing 360s, and Dad was racing 360s in Memphis area. He had raced there before, and we didn't really speak. And then at Creek County, we were on Speed Week, and my dad flipped down the whole straightaway. Yes, big crash. So I was back at the trailer, and Darren came over, and he was like, is he all right? And so we kind of spoke just a second there, and then we ended up having to go home. So it was like a full year later that we were at West Memphis, the ditch, and they were like parked pretty close. And I guess Darren hopped on the four-wheeler with my dad, and he was like, how old's your daughter? He's like, why?
Of course, protective father.
Yes. So Dad won the race, and after the race, I had sliced my hand on, I had a little cut on my hand, and I went to his mom had a Band-Aid for me. So after that, we just started talking from there, and the rest is history, I guess.
I love it. And how about you, Zan? How did you meet Sheldon?
I met Sheldon at Eldora when I was Miss Eldora. We had to go and greet all of the drivers, and he was one of them. And just kind of from there became friends and talked back and forth while I was at college, and then became more than friends. So.
Absolutely love it. What's so cool about this, and being a wife of a racer myself, I think one thing that gets undershadowed a lot is we've put our dreams on hold essentially to follow and pursue the dreams of our guys. And I want to commend you both for that, because we actually end up turning our dreams into their dreams, and we both just chase after what we want and what they want, essentially. And so I really want to go down that road with you guys. Basically the business side of things. Obviously the T-shirt trailer is huge. And just the planning that goes into that. And Mandy, I want to start with you just because you have that veteran side of things. What it takes from designing the T-shirts to ordering them, the sizes, just getting that trailer up and down the road and dealing with the race fans every single weekend when you're at the track.
I really enjoy dealing with race fans. It's great. You see the same people, every year, so you actually become friends with them. They're super nice. They enjoy talking to us, catching up. You're there for 24 hours, so it's just like you meet back up with your family. So it's really cool. As far as designing the shirts, Bob Hilbert's been great for us. We've done our shirts with Bob since Darren started. Great supporter of ours, and he just normally comes up with us. I'll give him a few ideas, or if I see something I like at the mall, or someone in the grandstands, I'm taking a picture and sending it to him. But Bob Hilbert really does everything for me, and when I can call and order something, I can have it the next week, which is really important being on the road. When we go through stuff, one design might sell better than another, and so it'd go through it quickly. He helps me out there.
And what about you, Zan? Again, the rookie side of things, what's it been like? Just kind of, I'm sure you've got Mandy here to help you and kind of guide you in that direction, but the learning curve, essentially, that it's had to take just to see what your fans want.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we were lucky last year. We didn't have a T-shirt trailer to call home, and Darren and Mandy gave us a call, and we were really thankful to be able to be in there with them. And on top of that, just kind of learn from Mandy and watch her, because I'd never done it before. And this year we're on our own, so again, I'm learning again. We just, we wanted to try it and see what we could do. And as far as shirts go, Sheldon's very particular. He helps me a lot. So we're every step of the way, the two of us are working together on those, and we work with Classic Ink, and they've been great. And so we're lucky. I mean, we have people who want to work with us and people who help us along the way, and so it's been good.
It's really cool because the T-shirts obviously provide an extra income, for what you guys are doing. But how difficult is it? We've been dealing with a lot of rainouts this year. So not only are the guys not getting paid on the racing side of things, you guys are not making the money on the T-shirt side of things because the races are being rained out. Do you guys really have to plan for that in advance, before the season even starts? You have to plan for those rainouts, I'm sure.
I just ordered my same amount, and so now we've switched cars a couple times this year, so I even have a little bit more stock than I normally do. We're going back to Ionomy at the end of the year, so that'll be good to have those same shirts back out that I had at the beginning. That'll help with all the rainouts, but that's been tough. It's not only do you not race, but you find stuff to do. You're going to go to dinner, and then you're going to go eat, and then go to the movies, and get the kids out of this small motorhome because everyone's driving everyone crazy. So it's not just the rain out. It's that we didn't make any money, but yet we've spent way more than we would have, for hot dog and popcorn. So
sure. Gosh, I didn't even think about that. That's a great point, and with you having kids on the road, I'm sure that's difficult. But at the same time, it has to be rewarding, too, because these girls are getting to see the country.
Yes, they do get to see the country. They love traveling. They would rather be in the motorhome than be at the house. I don't know if it's because it's just, everything's within reach, per se. But when they go home, they have new toys. We have toys, a couple cabinets in the motorhome. So they don't have a lot in there, but they do enjoy being on the road and seeing everything. And honestly, everyone out on the road is like their family. So when we're at home, they talk about Sheldon and Zan and Pella, and they miss them. So it's when we're back on the road, it's kind of like it's just our second family.
Mm-hmm. And how cool is that? I mean, I'm sure your Aunt Zan to a lot of these kids out here on the road. Is it kind of a relief for you, and kind of, what do I want to say, more family oriented for you, because you might be able to ditch the kids for a couple hours because they go see Aunt Zan?
They do go see Zan. I'll be like, hey, the girls are coming over, on the T-shirt trailer. And then, the other night Darren crashed, and I immediately took the girls to Zan, so I could go check on him and see what that was going on. So it's nice to have someone there that I can count on in any instances, whatever I need to do. She's been there for me, so I appreciate that.
So how many kids are you aunt to?
Wilson too, Nixon, the Pittmans, pretty much anyone who's out here. And I mean, we're lucky to be like that because we have the Pittmans too. Like Sheldon crashed at Lawrenceburg, and I didn't know, what steps we needed to go through. And so I'm on the phone with Mandy. What are we supposed to do here? So it goes both ways. We get and we take.
I love it. That's absolutely. And it really, culminates how we always talk about the racing family. It's so true. And, I'm sure you're closer probably with some of the people that you're with in the sprint car world than probably some of your own family who are miles away on a regular basis.
Well, you spend so much more. I mean, we spend more time with
10 months
people
out
on the
of the
road. Yeah, every day. And even when we're not racing, we might be parked, in the same Walmart or the same parking lot. And so we're still, we went to Disney together this spring. And so we're still, even though we're not racing together, we're actually still doing stuff together. So it's fun.
Sure. So let's talk about maybe the tougher things. By no means do I want to shed a negative light on our guys or our sport, but you guys really have to be a backbone for them because there are nights that don't go well, whether it's a silent support system or a race recapper because they want to go through each and every single lap of what it is and what guys were doing and where they were running on the track. And Zan, what has that been like for you these last 2 years, just really breaking down the race after it's over with Sheldon?
Sheldon's the quiet type, but last year is definitely hard. He was acting as owner of the car, one of the mechanics, the driver, and so I mean, you go through a lot there. I mean, we were 24 and owning a team. It's a lot, and you have people you can lean on, but at the end of the day, it's just the two of us figuring out what to do. So that was definitely hard. It was a challenge. It was a challenge for us personally and in our relationship. And I think it helps us this year to very much value what Sheldon has earned and what we have now. And I mean, there's still things you have to come home and talk about and figure out, different struggles, different issues, but we're lucky. I mean, Sheldon's lucky to have this ride, and we're lucky to be out here. Not everybody gets to do that. So, you know, we have the struggles, but on the other hand, it outweighs it because we're just glad to be here.
And Mandy, you've been doing it for so many years, and, you know, most husband and wives want to leave for work, or, you know, they both go their own direction, where you guys are literally living in a motorhome 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you've got 30 feet of space. Yeah. It's not like you're going to another room by any means.
There's nowhere to hide.
Exactly. So I'm sure the tension rises at times, especially when the guys are struggling on the track. It probably comes back to the motorhome, I'm sure. But I've heard a lot of these guys talk about their kids and how it really changes them and kind of their outlook on things. Do you see that with Darren?
Absolutely. I feel like our dynamic changed once we had kids. Before then, I was super involved. Every lap, I could tell what he was doing. I could tell him what other people were doing. He would come back, and I was fairly hard on Darren. I you know, kind of watched, and I fairly was hard on him. So we could talk about everything. He'd be like, where was so-and-so running? Well, how are they doing that? And then now that I have kids, he's like, well, where's so-and-so running? And I'm like, Katie was like up, down 2 stairs. I missed like 7 laps, you know, so trying to get her head covered or whatever. So it's changed a little bit, but Darren's been great about, he walks in the door of the motorhome, or if we go down to the pits afterwards, and, you know, the girls come running to him and give him a hug, and that's, he does leave it at the door. We might, when the doors are closed at night, have a chat about it. Sure. You know, I can say, what did you think? And stuff like that. This year's been really trying, as far as we've been an up and down season. So we've had some talks, you know, after those doors closed, that have been probably a little more heartfelt, or what's going on with him and stuff like that. So, but it's, as far as with the girls, when he sees them, they're just happy to see their dad and give him a hug, and of course they like winning and getting a picture made.
Say, are they starting to understand what Dad does for a living?
They do.
I've enjoyed your videos of the mule ride back from Victory Lane. Yeah. That's been really awesome with the girls. So it's cool to see that they're really starting to understand what Dad does.
They do, and our crew guys are phenomenal with my kids. They love them. They come running to them across the pit area. Oh. So it's really cool that they really care about, you know, our family in general too. And the girls love, their big thing is getting to ride on that four-wheeler after the race. I mean, that is the only thing. As soon as that picture's made, they're on the four-wheeler to ride back with the guys. So it's cool to see that.
And Mandy, does that kind of reflect what it was for you watching your dad?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember hopping on the four-wheeler with Dad's, Billy was his name, his crew guy, and riding that four-wheeler to the front chute and being super excited. So I think the girls, they have, especially Taylor, she understands what we do. She understands now. She's 9, so she kind of gets it. You know, she gets it. Katie's 3. She just thinks it's cool to be here and hang out and yell and cheer and dance to Johnny Gibson's music. You know, every night. You know, that plays. She just gets up and gets her groove on. So it's two different. They're a big age gap, but it's cool to watch it through both of their eyes in different aspects.
Absolutely. And Zan, with you, you were Miss Knoxville Nationals, Miss Eldora Speedway, so your passion runs pretty deep for racing as well. Just being on the road and living the lifestyle that you are now, what's probably the hardest thing that you've dealt with?
My mom and I are pretty close, so being away from her has been a challenge. I mean, it's always been the two of us. So even when I went to college, we saw each other every 3 weeks. Oh. And so now when I say goodbye to her in February and I don't see her till May, it's hard, but I know she's a phone call away, and she knows that I'm good where I'm at because Sheldon and I are good where we are. So it's been different, but you have to adjust to the lifestyle you choose.
That's exactly right. And Mandy, what's one thing that probably the fans don't understand or comprehend that you can kind of give a little insight to just to make them realize what goes on a regular basis?
Probably just the schedule. Our schedule is really different than most people. You know, most of the time our races are from, about 6-8 hours apart at night. So after the race, even when Darren's done with the fans, about an hour after the race, we get in the motorhome and hook up the TShirt trailer, and then we put the girls to bed as we're driving down the road, and then we drive down the road, find a Walmart, and fix him dinner on the way. So it's just that. And then you get up and drive the next 8 hours. We have to be there early to park. So we're usually there by 2 every day, or we try to be there by 2. We're normally the last ones just because there's a lot going on. But so that's just the schedule of that. And then we, have lunch, and then it's time for him to go. So it's just once we get going in our routine of day by day, it's not as bad. But after it's been a little while on the road and you're like, oh wow, I'm so tired, but it's what we do.
And then you have to plan water fill-ups with the motorhome and dump the tanks and do all that beautiful other stuff that goes on behind the scenes.
The inside.
Yes. Yeah. The fun things. And then you have motorhome complications. They probably break down along the way. Xana, I love the face you just made,
goodness.
and I know you guys just recently got a new motorhome. So what has that been like?
Oh, we started the year, our goal was to get a motorhome, and we got one. And we had some problems. Sheldon was on the phone with Darren many late nights, and underneath, at one point, he fixed the air ride with a spoon handle and zip ties, and we drove from Joplin, Missouri to Ohio like that, just praying we would make it. And we said, you know what, we are not going to make it through the season back out west with this thing. So we started looking online, and we found a new one, and we found a good one, I think. But it doesn't matter if you get a Prevost or if you have an Airstream, you're going to have
There's always
problems.
a list.
Yes,
Always.
and we run the list and we compare the list, and it doesn't matter what you get.
Do you have a water pump, or do you have the buzzer? It's just that's just how it is. And filling up, we don't take motorhome showers. A lot of people will, So we fill up almost every 2 to 3 days because
we have the girls, of course.
I don't turn the water off, so none of us do. So we have to make it a point to fill up water every about 3 days. So we're always looking for a gas station.
And how does that work when take the Knoxville Nationals? You're there for 4 days essentially. Do you have a water truck that comes through the parking lot? Do you have to
It's so
load your
nice
stuff up,
here.
head to a water spigot?
We're spoiled here. They have water and power for us in the lot back there for all the drivers and the team. So it's really nice that we have all the water that we can use and power, so we don't have to run the generator. And then I think someone comes around and can dump your tanks if you need it.
Gotcha. And what happens when you're not at Knoxville?
Our big challenge was when we were at Williams Grove, and it kept raining, and it's just he's like, we got to conserve. So then you might have to not wash your hair, or turn that water off, kids get to skip a shower, so.
We also have lived the motorhome life for several years, and I know that probably one of the hardest things is I love to cook. And it's very hard because you don't have the counter space that you have at a typical kitchen. You only have 2 little burners and your grill outside. What's it been like, just trying to feed your family and Sheldon, of course, and just really making that? Do you guys cook? Let's put it that way first.
Sheldon, he's difficult but easy. He only eats very few things.
He's picky.
Very picky. So I know when I go to the grocery store, I'm buying eggs and chicken. That's about the extent of it. So at least what he likes I can make in there. It's a little different for me because I like food and I like different food, but my diet has pretty much consisted of eggs and chicken along with him, unless Mandy invites me over because they eat better food than us.
And what's that been like, cooking for 3 others as well as yourself?
It's fine. We always have extra. We do simple meals in the motorhome. It's not anything ever, honestly, from a box or a bag is kind of how I cook, unfortunately. Right. So we do that, but then we do eat out a lot for lunch or grab it on the way. Darren eats a really late lunch on race day, so it'll be something, right before we either get to the track or while we're there. After we're there, I might do spaghetti or tacos or just something fairly simple. And then after the race, he'll want like a pizza or something like that, which is, I can handle that. Peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, I really want to dig into the boys here real quick. With Sheldon, does he have any superstitions? I know he's kind of, I read your tweet a few days ago about no one is allowed to use anything but Lucas Oil spray wax in the trailer.
Microfiber towels.
Sounds the same.
Same.
Yes. I wouldn't say he's superstitious. He's definitely a touch OCD. I don't know, he grew up like this, so he knows what he's doing. And like, there's things that I would think, we're for sure sidelined for a while. There's no way the motorhome's moving. And he's got it, just because he always saw Jack do it. And he drives pretty much every hour that we're on the road because I'm afraid. But not really superstitions. I don't see, there's no colors, there's no peanuts. Like, I'm not told the chicken thing was shot to hell because, he eats chicken every day. A lot of people don't eat chicken on race day. But just OCD, like, he cleans twice a day, he vacuums twice a day. There's a lot of cleaning.
If he comes off the road ever to clean.
Yeah, and it's funny because we usually park by the Pittmans and we pull in, and if Darren's washing or if Darren's tire's shining, Sheldon's got to get out there and he's got to do it too, even if we were planning just to kind of chill that day.
They send each other pictures of their tire shine.
Who's better? And
did you forget? Look at mine today. I'm like, oh my God.
They have a problem. Or like one day, where were we? Beaver Dam, and they were outside using
sweeping
to sweep the grass.
Yes.
Sweeping so they had mowed, and so it was a little bit high. So when you walked in it kind of got on your shoes a little bit. Not a big deal.
Into the motorhome.
Not a big enough deal.
Not a big enough deal. They both swept a massive area by our motorhome so we could walk with no grass.
It must be a driver thing because mine is very much similar to the 2 of yours.
Yeah, it's
pretty bad.
So what does race day look for Darren then with you guys and the kids? Does he have he needs his own little time and space before, or he's all up in it before you guys head to the TShirt trailer?
No, he's pretty involved. He doesn't get any Darren time, so except for when he leaves to go to the pits. So maybe that's why he leaves early. So with the gates are getting ready to open, I'll go with the girls to the trailer and he'll come and maybe help me for a little bit, or he might even keep the girls until I can get everything open and out, which is a tremendous help. And then he goes to the pits and hangs out with the guys. But he has the girls a lot, and he helps out a lot, so that makes it easier for me. And
then the girls are in the TShirt trailer with you, so you're putting them to work, I'm sure, too, and teaching them the ropes as well?
Taylor's just started to take a big interest in it. She gets paid $1 a night.
Oh,
well, actually, I think she just asked for a raise. I think it might be $2 now. After Dallas, she was like,
she keeps track.
Yeah, she keeps track. She writes it down. She has a little sequined gold purse that she has to she wants her money. But she does a really good job. She's getting it, and she likes doing it. And Katie just runs well. So.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me and giving a little insight to what it takes to make our lifestyles, their lifestyles. Like I said, you guys have put your dreams on hold to chase their dreams, and it becomes your dream eventually.
Absolutely.
But I really want to commend you guys for that. It's absolutely amazing, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you.